up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 168 are open. This week on the show, we're talking about the biggest hardware launch this week, which is the Game & Watch. Wow. I don't think any other company actually released anything.
No. Yeah. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I don't see 3 other boxes over there.
Yes. No.
On your desk?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about that and much more. And to talk all about that is Bryce DeWitt. Brycey.
Yes, it's me. Hello. Yeah.
Hey, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, mate.
Yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks. I haven't talked to you in a good old fortnight here.
No. Yeah.
You did a show by yourself. I did a show by myself, and now we're back.
Yes. We were correct in our assumption that shit's going to get busy. So
Yeah. we predicted that one.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Did you get the lottery ticket the same day? Did you predict that?
No, you know what? I'm actually really depressed because I was going to put on a lottery ticket yesterday.
Right.
I was going to put on a Keno ticket yesterday, but just after I left work and was going to my second job, and in the time that I had left my first job and got to the second job, the 2.5 million had dipped. And I'm like, I'm like, why didn't I put a ticket on? I might have won.
You might have.
Yeah.
Just not encouraging people to gamble out there.
No, of course not. No. Yeah. You should always be responsible with your money. And I don't bet all the time. It's just sort of a thing of like, I feel like I'm being a bit lucky today. Maybe I'll put something on. And then I'm like, don't win anything. And I'm like, well, that was a waste of money. And then I throw my ticket away.
I've never had that feeling where it's like, I feel lucky today, so I've never actually spent my own money on a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like, here's the thing is like the phrase, you have to be in it to win it is such a
cliche.
A cliche.
Yeah.
Like,
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's true.
It is true to some context, but you're almost never a winner. So, it is very much you've got to be very responsible. I'm not like some people and that go to the bar and that's their purpose, like 5 days a week or whatever. I'm not like that. I'm kind of like, I work at a bar and then if I'm coming off a shift and I'm like, you know what? I might see if I can win myself $1 million. I might put $5 on. I might put $5 on, and then I'll be like, all right, yep, that was a waste of money, and then move on. That's kind of just like how you have to treat it. There's no, sort of in between. You can't really dedicate that money. You can always use it somewhere better. So just be wary of that.
Yeah. Well, we haven't won the lottery, so we're not full-time podcasters. Just living off of our lottery
wouldn't
winnings
that just
just
be
yet.
the dream?
It really would be.
I
would be so good.
I would take that $2.5 million, get a block of land, build a house, and then I would build a studio.
Oh, yeah, just like a real nice like
an actual
outside
thing,
the house. Oh, it'd be so good.
That I can soundproof and like all the good stuff. Like that is what I would do. It'd be perfect. Perfect.
And we can just put all our energy and
that's right.
Into it. It'll be awesome.
We can get a setup in there that's more permanent. Like a big computer with lots of hard drives and.
All right, let's stop doing this. This is. I've got to go sharing tomorrow, so don't make me feel bad about that. Yeah, so been an absolute massive week, but not on the Nintendo front. Been a massive week, obviously, in PlayStation and Xbox, bringing their brand new consoles.
Yes. Congratulations to both companies. They've obviously both done pretty well in terms of general response, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when their sales data and all that comes out, see how many they actually shifted.
I think PlayStation will still probably do better for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But, that being said, we've both sort of played with them a little bit. You've got 3 of the 4 boxes here. You've got PlayStation 5. You've got a Series S and a Series X.
Delicious.
Yep. Which they all look very nice over there and very tantalizing. And you kind of just like, I would love to just sit there and play them all day, but we know that we can't at the moment. So that's a shame. But
I've got to record it. I've got to talk to you while I'm just looking at them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, isn't it? I'd like to just be able to call off work and we can just sit here and drink beers and play shit all night.
Oh,
how good would that be?
Yeah, but then I've got work tomorrow as well. So
you take work off tomorrow. How good would that be? Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be great.
We should organise a night for something like that, I think.
Yeah, we need to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come December, just be like, all right, we'll pick a weekend and be like, right, we're taking this off. Sorry, it's happening. I'm not coming into work. See you later. And then just go from there. And I think, we can probably manage that somewhere if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll have my X by then and we can, play some online multiplayer or something.
Yeah, because we were talking before the show, like, what are we going to talk about? Because it's been a pretty quiet week for Nintendo. We've still got a fair bit here to actually talk about, but at the same time, I've just been playing like a little bit of stuff on PlayStation and Xbox, so I really haven't been into my Switch really for the last probably couple of weeks. So I guess for anyone out there, like, new consoles are exciting regardless of what your favorite games are or whatever. So I'll talk a little bit about my experience with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S for the most part. I got my Series X on Friday and it's out the box, but it's not actually plugged in. Everything's set up on the Series S at the moment in my little bit of an office in here, which is just full of cardboard and that because everything's just been unboxed and chucked together. So it's a bit of a...
It's literally everywhere. Look at it all.
It's not everywhere now. It's in the containers there. But I think the thing what stands out the most, like with the Xbox, is if you've looked into it all, it's pretty much just faster, better, stronger. It's pretty basic upgrade, but it's like absolutely fantastic. And the controller to me that comes included with it, Bryce was saying before, like I've got a Elite controller, so it's not too big a deal. He'll continue using that, but I actually really love the new controllers. Just like with I feel like they made it feel a bit more snug in the hand.
Yeah.
And just with like its texture, it feels like quite rough on the back with the grips, and it feels really nice. And the biggest thing to me is the D-pad, which is like a real clicky one, and it doesn't look like a traditional just cross, which you might see on Nintendo controllers. But I've got to say, I feel like I've only played Tetris Effect connected through Game Pass on it, but I feel like it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite D-pad.
Yeah.
Which is just like crazy coming from Xbox because Xbox have really struggled to have a decent D-pad for
that's right,
a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got pretty good on the I guess Xbox One with the D-pad, but it still wasn't, perfect.
Yeah.
But it's just absolutely fantastic on this one. And as far as the DualSense controller, it's really cool just with all the triggers and everything that's going on, the haptic feedback.
I'm very impressed with the DualSense. I've traditionally not been a huge fan of PlayStation controllers. As a lot of people with sort of bigger hands typically are kind of like, you're going to curl your fingers around in sort of awkward places and things just don't always fervently work out.
How much bigger are your hands than mine? Let's put them together. Yeah, a lot bigger than mine. Holy shit.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, for somebody that has big hands, like everybody's like, oh, they're fine. I don't know what you're on about. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have fucking jumbo jumbo sized clown hands. So it's not that comfortable. But you know what? The DualSense feels a lot better in the hands than what the last 2 to 3 even generations of PlayStation controllers feel like. I do think they're a very clean controller and they're very nice. However, I think as cool as the haptic feedback is, and you could definitely feel it all out in the controller, and that's really, that's like some HD rumble sort of like pro level of shit. And that's awesome. But as a lot of people have sort of mentioned, there are experiences where you're going to want to turn that off, definitely. I remember seeing a post on Twitter today that was sort of like showing off the haptic feedback on like guns in Call of Duty and like how they differentiate and stuff like that. And I could not imagine anything more annoying in a online first person shooter in competitive multiplayer when you're trying to be accurate.
Yeah, so you say that for the multiplayer, but I think it would be pretty cool for
in the single player.
Campaign,
it'd be fine.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that like if you are primarily like a multiplayer person, it's pretty much gonna be a non-feature for you,
and it is pretty easy to turn off. And something I've found, because like with like sharing and that, like you're using your hands that much, and quite often I'll wake up in the middle of the night with like pins and needles in my hands and stuff. So like at the moment, like my index fingers are really sore. So having that extra tension on the triggers, I'm like, I'm actually like thinking about it because I can feel it in my hands. I'm like, oh. Because like there's a bit in Astrobot, which is probably the game I put the most time into on PlayStation 5. Yep. There's a bit where you get a bow and arrow and you sort of, there's more tension in the trigger and you pull it in and you let it go. I was like, oh, it kind of hurts. So I'm happy it didn't last all that long. The hell is that? There's a chainsaw or something outside.
Yeah, so enjoy that, guys. You're going to hear that. We can't stop.
I actually don't know, because a lot of the times when we can hear it, it actually doesn't come through on the recording. Some of these sounds.
There you go. Yeah.
So hopefully it doesn't, because that's annoying me.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I think like that was extremely impressive. Obviously, my PlayStation 5 will be my sub pickup this generation because of I think just like with Xbox's conveniences and benefits of Game Pass and stuff like that. I support those type of business decisions, and I think that just works out well for me. And especially since like it's the thing where I'm like, well, I haven't got any money, so not wait for a major release. It's sort of like, well, I can just keep paying for Game Pass, and first party titles that come out I'll have on it. Whereas with PlayStation, if I leave it for a little bit longer, the way I see it, games are going to come down in price, and I'm not going to have to, sort of spend as much.
Yeah, how I'm sort of viewing it at the moment, like PlayStation 5 obviously has the biggest launch out of the two, for launch exclusives.
Yes.
So like I'm at the moment, I'm a lot more interested to play the PlayStation 5s just for Demon Souls and
obviously, yeah,
Sackboy and all that. But just Xbox has just made it so seamless between just upgrading and moving your games around and everything.
And quick start too.
Yeah, there's quick start. Like I feel like just the ecosystem they've built over there is just more convenient and more reliable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I'm going moving forward. I think for the most part, PlayStation 5 is going to be an exclusive box, and going forward, they're going to have plenty of exclusives to make that purchase justified. But like, Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed and all of these things I'm looking forward to playing in the next 2 or 3 months, I'll be going Xbox.
Just out of curiosity, I guess, with the Series S and the Series X, because you'll be the first person to know that the PlayStation's differences, but obviously with the Series S and the Series X, obviously the Series S doesn't do like all the extra tidbits that the Series X does, but does the digital edition of the PlayStation 5?
Yeah, it's exactly the same, just no disc drive on the PlayStation side.
Because I would probably consider just getting a digital PlayStation 5, to be honest. I know that there's not a lot of space on them, but as a console that I would probably use more for exclusives than anything else, I think that would probably be where I end up.
Yeah, just depends on, obviously, with physical games being a lot cheaper in Australia, that's the only thing, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose I agree with that, but if I'm not buying much on it anyway, it's not going to be too much of a big deal. I think the biggest thing, right, in the end and at the end of the day, is that it really doesn't matter what platform you pick anymore, because the way things are going, everything's going cross-play, like across consoles, PC, Switch, whatever. And that is, I think that's like beneficial for the future of gaming, and I think anybody can agree. Like even just with games like Call of Duty and stuff like that, having that option, is definitely a plus. So I'm really keen for that to sort of go ahead and use Xbox for third parties primarily, and then PlayStation's as an exclusive console primarily. And I don't think that I need to go ahead and get a disc drive PlayStation if I save myself a bit of dosh.
I mean, it's $150 at the moment, difference between them. So
yeah, which is
it's not a small amount.
That's right. Yeah, it's quite a bit of a jump. And if I'm only playing a couple of exclusives at a time, I don't think I really need it. And honestly, I'm really interested in the controller itself. And I feel like it'd be a good way to play a lot of those third-party games as well. But to be completely honest with you, as good as it is, and as futuristic and as awesome as it is, I'm not sure if it's a complete necessity. And I think it's one of those things like the 3DS's 3D, where it's just like I just won't notice it after a while, and it'll just meh.
Yeah, it's kind of like on the Nintendo side, we see a lot of that type of thing, and like with the Switch, with the HD Rumble, like. How much have you thought about that since launch? Like we played 1-2 Switch, which should have been included just to show off that feature. Because a lot of people would have picked up that and not 1-2 Switch and like just Zelda, and end of the year they picked up Mario, and they're just maybe picking up the big Nintendo first party games. And they might have never felt HD Rumble in that controller.
No,
like
exactly.
It was never used again. Obviously third parties aren't using it. And I think on the PlayStation side, it's going to be supported a bit better than that. Yeah, just Call of Duty and other stuff.
Just by the way they're going.
Yeah, they're already supporting it, but on the Nintendo side, it just went like it's a waste of money in that controller. Really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's probably what I'll do. So basically, I'll be doing relatively the opposite of what you're doing and get the smaller PlayStation instead, rather than sort of going that way.
Yeah, it's exciting times. I'm really keen to get some games played on it.
Absolutely,
really enjoying Astro Bot. I was going to say Rescue Mission. That's the VR, but yeah, really enjoying Astro Bot on the machine, and it's just like it's an absolute wonderful 3D platform. It's only like about 4 hours long or so. I'm just sort of trying to wrap up the platinum trophy on it, but it's really a lot of people are saying this, but it's like really Nintendo-esque. Who decides to bloody use a chainsaw when we record a podcast?
Like right now. I love life. It's great, isn't it?
Oh,
it's lucky it's a chill episode this week and we haven't got like the end of the world to talk about us.
It's like, on the House of Mario, we're talking about the end of the world. Now we stop. So I was going to like leave a little bit of silence there to see if we can actually see if it's coming up on our meter here. But regardless, anyway, so Astro Bot is just a really fantastic 3D platformer. I think if you're a Nintendo fan, especially, you'll absolutely adore that game.
Yeah.
It's just really, just the level design's fantastic. The atmosphere and everything's just awesome.
It's a short experience too. Like it's not going to chunk up a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into Sackboy: A Big Adventure just for the same reason that it's just a really stunning looking 3D platformer in the same esque as Mario 3D World on Wii U and coming to Switch in a couple of months. So really looking forward to jumping into that one too. I've sort of left Sackboy and Demon's Souls in their plastic still, so I actually go and finish Spider-Man and gradually finish them and not just unwrap them all and chuck them in the cupboard or something and forget about them. So yeah, really excited about those consoles and moving forward with the Switch. Looking forward to playing Zelda. I think Zelda's probably the only thing I'm playing on it for the rest of the year. I'm sort of backed up with next generation stuff.
Yeah,
at the moment.
It's an awkward situation for Nintendo at the moment because Zelda's it. They've got a lot in the backlog that they really need to start talking about and announcing and sort of going from there, but they've left it relatively quiet over the course of the last few months, and it's been really hard, I think, as a Nintendo podcast to find excuses to talk about Nintendo when obviously all the lead up with the consoles has been happening and Nintendo's not saying anything.
Well, yeah, and as far as doing the podcast together as well, like to be fair, most of the focus has been on Nintendo over the last few years, just with lots of games coming out from them, Switch hardware being brand new. So this is like the first time where it's like PlayStation and the Xbox, like, hey, we've got big things. Like, it's like the first time.
Yeah, that's right. And like both of us invest in all three major parties, so we do get that sort of itch, I guess.
And just like I don't want to talk about this too much, but just it's been talked to death. But like the Switch Pro, I really do feel like it is next year. And if it's not, I really hope it is because
what's wrong with you?
I'm starting to get to the point now where I really want an upgrade to the Switch, just being faster, better, being able to handle like better frame rates and better resolutions without getting too big a dips when some stuff gets a bit more hectic on screen and all that.
I'm actually hoping that Nintendo are sort of making use of their relationship with Microsoft in terms of like how they're going with their console launch and what they could possibly do to prepare for sort of their own pro version and sort of go from there, because obviously they're quite tight now. They have been for a long time. So with this console launch and stuff like that, I'm kind of hoping that Nintendo's taking side notes from them and that they can sort of learn to roll off that a little bit. I don't think like I'd be ultimately disappointed if they didn't and went their own way, because that's kind of why I like them anyway. But I think there is just some things where Nintendo can definitely sort of take a picture out of that book, like I think the biggest and obvious thing with these two consoles coming out is most of the games are coming physically, at least in Australia, they're mostly coming up as Xbox One X or / Series X bundles or PS4, PS5 bundles, those games that sort of go multi-platform. as opposed to last generation, where when they were doing the transitional generation changeover, they just made 2 versions and tried to sell them off. I think they learned that was pretty poor monetary wise, because nobody didn't really want like a super watered down Call of Duty or whatever that was sort of happening at the time. So I think that they've sort of made a good move on that. And I'm kind of hoping that's sort of the same thing that happens with Nintendo as well, and they don't happen to run into the same problem that they had with the new 3DS titles, where they were just like, oh, this is exclusive only to new 3DS, and people are like, oh, well, lame.
It uses the RAM.
Yeah, it uses the RAM, and I don't feel like being that declusive of other people who already are sort of in your ecosystem. It's really a good thing, like at all. And I think everybody sort of has that worry that that's going to happen with the potential Switch Pro. Like they'll be like, oh, hey, look, here's Breath of the Wild 2, but it's Switch Pro only. You're like, oh, well, shit.
And just on the new console launches as well, Doug Bowser said on Twitter, he said, congratulations to Xbox and Phil Spencer on the launch of the Xbox Series X and S today. So just, because a lot of the time Nintendo doesn't actually acknowledge the other guys. And the other guys, they acknowledge each other all the time, just for, they've put it on Twitter even like the last week, just congratulating each other on each other's launches and all that. And Nintendo's just sort of sitting there like, meh, I don't want to support them. we're our own beast type of thing, but it's good for at least a face from the company just say, hey, good on you today.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bryce, let's get into some Nintendo news. It's been a very quiet week. So if you're listening to a Nintendo podcast, if you're supporting us this week, thank you very much. Because I know that everyone's probably on Xbox and PlayStation fever.
Yes.
Because I know I am.
Oh, for real.
Yeah. So I might just jump straight into it, Bryce. Won't play the jingle this week.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Or do you want the jingle?
You hit the jingle.
Okay, you'll get the jingle then.
Jesus, it's right there, mate. You can just hit the jingle every time. You going to change your mind right now?
Yeah, I was going to change my mind right now.
Okay, well, look, here's the jingle. He fought for his friends, and you take that away from him.
And you just
I talked through the whole thing.
You spoke for the whole thing, and you just ruined it anyway.
That's exactly right. That was the point. That was the joke.
That was a good joke. I'm sure everyone laughed while listening to this. So this is from GameIndustry.biz, and the title is The Switch Had Its Second Best October Sales in the US of Any Console Ever. So the Nintendo Switch just sold over 735,000 units across both Switch and Switch Lite for the month of October in the US, giving it the second highest US October sales of any console in history. It's surpassed only by the Wii, which sold 807,000 units in October 2008. In a press release from Nintendo sharing data from the NPD group, Nintendo reveals the Switch continues to be the best-selling video game console in the US after 23 consecutive months and has sold over 22.5 million units in the US alone since launch. In its H1 financials last week, Nintendo raised its forecast following a 209% year-over-year increase in its operation profit as its global lifetime Nintendo Switch sales reach 68.3 million. The company anticipates 24 million units of hardware globally for the physical year ending March 2021. Though NPD numbers drop tomorrow morning for the full picture, NPD Group Matt Pescatella shared a tidbit of insight on Twitter following the news. Quote, the Switch numbers are absolute bonkers, he said. We're taking Wii peak numbers here with a little risk of falling off a cliff like the Wii did. It's a monster of a platform, end quote. So obviously almost 2 years of being the consecutive best-selling platform in the US. So probably not going to happen for the 24th month. Seeing as Xbox and PS5 came out in November.
Yeah.
So surely if Nintendo Switch even keeps up with 2 new major platforms, especially the PlayStation 5, it's going to just be bonkers. It's looking to outpace PlayStation 4, which is obviously one of the best performing platforms of all time.
Yeah.
So it's not going to happen again. If it did, that is crazy. Maybe people that haven't picked up Animal Crossing yet or something are getting it for Christmas for kids or something. I don't know. Especially with no big sales or anything. I can't see anything like that happening. But
No.
just a crazy success by Nintendo. And I know a lot of people, whether it's in our circle or just people in the industry in general, people are saying, "Oh, what's Nintendo going to do? How are they going to keep up?" Don't know, man. It's just not gonna. It's not a problem.
No.
And even if they do slip to like abysmal numbers, they're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The thing is like I think with the Switch as it is, it's still a successful console and it's still selling units like crazy regardless. And I don't think this short run is going to do anything to hinder anything at all. And if it ever did, well, you'd know about it before now, for sure.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, Nintendo's looking to have trouble over this. There's still a lot of people that want to Switch, man. Like, that everybody went and scalped all of them and started selling them for stupid prices.
Everyone. Did you?
Run countries out of stock. You know what I mean. Like Australia was out of stock for a long time. The US was running out of stock because of Corona. Japan was out of stock. Like, there are people still, it's still on their radar of like, I want that. So it's definitely still going to sell, just not as well as it has in previous months because people have to spend their money on other things.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes over the rest of November and December, and see how it goes with the lead up to, I guess, Thanksgiving in the US, Black Friday, obviously Christmas and all that. And especially now Xbox, they have a platform out that is the same price as the Switch. It matches the $300 price tag in the US. It's $30 more than the Switch here in Australia, being it's $470 full price for a Switch here in Australia, and the Xbox Series X is rounded up to $500.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more here. So you might be, I'm going to save that $30 and get a Switch instead of an Xbox. Completely different things. It's kind of like
get myself a bagel on the way home.
Get yourself some KFC family box on the way home.
Finishes the bagel. He's like, I regret my decision.
Your kid's like, can I have a really strong Fortnite box? All right. So you're like, oh, well, if I get the Switch, I can save enough money and I'll get a KFC family box. And, I'll get the Switch. And you get it home and the kid's like, I wanted the Xbox. It's like, well, I got KFC though. No, I couldn't have done that.
Couldn't have got KFC, but I didn't get it.
So give me that Zinger burger then. It's like, well, I actually ate it. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate. I ate the Zinger.
I like the Zinger.
It was delicious.
It's very delicious.
It was beautiful. Just like that Xbox you wanted.
All right, bro. So moving on. This is from Nintendo Enthusiast, and the title is Pokemon Go to home transfers require long waits or exploitative prices. So this is something I just dabbled with the other day. So I'll read the article and we'll discuss. So late this September, the Pokemon Company announced that connectivity between Pokemon Go and Pokemon Home will be coming this year. True to that announcement, this feature has begun to roll out to trainers around the world. Currently, only those who reach level 40 will have access to this addition. So at the moment, it's just basically going down. So I'm level 37. So I've gained access to it. Bryce has said last time he tried.
I'm 32.
He's 32 and he doesn't have access to it. So by the time you have this, it'll probably be accessible to most people. So although it should be available to everyone in the near future, those anxiously waiting to transfer their favorite Pokemon to Pokemon Home maybe want to temper their expectations, as Niantic has placed some pretty hefty restrictions and costs on the process. First, it's important to note that that like the transfer between Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go games, this process is only one way. Once you send a Pokemon to Pokemon Home, it can't go back to Go. There are also other restrictions in which Pokemon you can transfer. Pokemon such as the recent Halloween Gengar can't be transferred at all, while others have multiple forms like Cast Form will change the form in the process. Major restrictions here, though, are the amount of and frequency of which you can transfer a Pokemon. You have 10,000 Go transport porter energy to work with, and each Pokemon will cost a certain amount based on its species. So just talking about that, I was able to send 4 shiny Porygon before all my energy was gone. You're able to send 1 shiny mythical Pokemon without before all the energy's gone as well. So that it seemed obviously shiny Pokemon and legendary Pokemon take up more energy than just sending a bunch of Magikarp, for example. So that's important to note if you've got a bunch of shiny mythical Pokemon, which you probably do want to transfer over. That's probably the thing you do want to put into home.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Once this energy is used, it refreshes at a rate of 60 energy an hour. This means a total spent energy reserve will refresh completely in a week. For those who are really impatient, you can also spend coins to refresh the energy immediately at a rate of one coin per 10 energy. Holy shit, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Making a full recharge of 1,000 coins. Holy shit, that's like $10 to like not wait a week. Though you can
Even
earn
more than that,
earn coins in game. You're capped at 50 per day. So this method is really only effective if you purchase coins. To buy 1,000 coins, you'll be spending a minimum of $10 US. Of course, this is only the cost of one transfer, so things can get a bit out of hand if you want to be extremely quick on those transfers. So we'll leave it at that for the article. So yeah, a lot of people aren't happy about this. I saw Joe Merrick, who runs Cerebi, really not happy with these sort of practices because they're not great.
No.
And to be honest, when they said that, really the initial thing, we'll be able to transfer from go to home. I was about to say Gome.
Gome to home.
Gome to home. I don't even think there would be restrictions. We're paying for home and we're spending quite a bit of money and all that in Pokemon Go. There really shouldn't be these just arbitrary restrictions. I guess they might want the restrictions just so you don't flood the games with all your shinies and everything, but that's going to happen anyway.
They don't want to lose their players is the thing, and that's the point. Is a lot of people are kind of like, I want to play this game, and I'm just going to get some Pokemon for my game, like my shinies and from Pokemon Go because it's easier to shiny hunt or what have you on community days. And what they're basically saying is, well, cool, but we haven't taken enough money out of you yet. So if you want to get it done quickly, we're going to take more money out of you first before you leave. That's pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to play it every Monday or whatever. I'm going I can transfer more and just slowly, get my stuff over into home, and that's going to be that. But I'm not too worried. I'm like, I've got to spend money or whatever. I'm just going to take it slow and do it that way. But it is just a bit frustrating. At least maybe allow a bit more to be transferred. But
yeah,
regardless, if you're interested in that feature, you are now aware if you weren't aware before.
Yeah.
So also with the Pokemon news, so this is from mynintendonews.com. So the Pokemon company explains why Pokemon Sword and Shield went with expansions instead of a new game. So the article reads, Game Informer has had a chance to chat with the Pokemon company now that they've released both expansions to the incredibly popular Pokemon Sword and Shield games on the Nintendo Switch. The publication first asked them why they opted for the expansion route rather than create a new game for players. The company's response was that they wanted to spend more time exploring new environments in the game that they had already purchased and use their favourite Pokemon they have collected within the game straight away. So this is a quote from the Pokemon company. There was an element of apprehension in moving to a downloadable model, but we were confident that players would enjoy exploring new environments and covering new storylines and meeting new human characters and Pokemon in both the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. With the past titles, players generally had to collect and raise their Pokemon completely from scratch. So with the DLC, we thought players would enjoy being able to use their favourite Pokemon right out the gate. With the second DLC contained within the expansion pass, the Crown Tundra, players were able to explore various Pokemon dens as part of the Dynamax adventure. This allowed them to catch legendary Pokemon from past titles. The team say that they wanted to change how players catch these legendary Pokemon, and this paved the way for the Dynamax adventures. So another quote from the Pokemon company. The idea that Dynamax Adventures started with the team wanting to introduce new elements to max raid battles. We think Dynamax Adventures was the perfect way to achieve this. We wanted to change the way in which legendary Pokemon are captured within our games. Some of the legendary Pokemon that appear in Dynamax Adventures differ between Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Only by joining up with players using a different version of the game, we'll have the chance to collect them all. So, just, pretty basic stuff, but, I really do agree with this. Like, it is just nice having new areas to go and explore and not just, like, starting from scratch.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because that always sucked.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, just to get to that little bit of extra content.
And when I was a kid, I didn't mind, I didn't mind playing through the game again. But now as an adult, if you're like, here's a brand new version, go and play through the whole thing again. Not all about it.
Yeah, that's right.
So moving on. So Famitsu has dropped some review scores for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And I'm reading this from Nintendo Enthusiast. So Famitsu reveals high review scores for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So Japanese publication Famitsu has revealed its game review scores for the week, including that Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. For those unfamiliar with Famitsu's reviewing format, they have 4 people review the game and awarded a score out of 10. Age of Calamity has received extremely positive scores from the Japanese magazine, with 9s across the board. This brings the total score to 36 out of 40. The magazine stated that the game is highly satisfying as a spin-off of Breath of the Wild. You look like you're going to say something. The only common concern for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity that I've had in previewing the demo is the frame rate. We report about how inconsistent the game was in terms of performance. So I am hoping that the final version fixes a lot of these issues, and that is a sort of a common thing a lot of people are having after playing the demo. I know you did after playing through the demo. That's something you brought up yourself in your solo episode a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I hope they fix that too. I don't think they will, but I hope.
Yeah. Like it does. Like I said in my solo episode, I think it is the pacing that really kills everything in that demo. Really, like it's just too fast. The character interactions are null and void. They don't really happen, and with a game that tells that's supposed to tell a story that we all want more information on, that's not really.
Yeah. So when you said that, I'm like, pretty disappointed because I downloaded the demo. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to play like an hour or two, then just not
wait
play
until it releases.
Not play it for 2 weeks, then jump back into it where I was. I'm going to be like, because with Octopath Traveler, the demo for that worked in the same way, and that kind of like mucked me up as far as that game goes. I jumped back into it. I'm like, what am I doing? How does this battle system work, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just going to play through the full game when it comes out, I feel like.
Yep, good idea.
Yeah. So moving on with Age of Calamity news. So Amiibo functionality has been detailed. So also from Nintendo Enthusiast, the article reads, as we near the launch for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, previews of certain features are starting to trickle out. Sister site Destructoid has tested out Amiibo functionality with the upcoming Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. A number of different Amiibo figures were used, and here are the results. To put it simply, the system works in a similar manner to that of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Amiibo act as an item delivery system with different figures granting different items to the players. Just like in the last Hyrule Warriors, there's a daily limit of 5 Amiibo figures to scan per day. The Twilight Princess Zelda figure grants a low-level ancient memory part. The Twilight Princess Link amiibo gives a low-level soldier's broadsword. Rounding out the Zelda options tested, she granted 2 sapphires. To try out a different series, the Dark Souls, Solitaire, and Astrio amiibo were also tested. That one handed out 5 times Stealth Fin Trouts, 5 Blue Night Shades, and 5 Restless Crickets.
Weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Because it worked in that game. It's just like, it doesn't matter what amiibo it was. It just like gave you something, didn't it?
Yeah.
The level of functionality is expected then. While it would be nice for Age of Calamity to deliver something new with amiibo, these items will sure come in handy. So yeah, I guess we kind of expected this just to work in a similar manner, and just as far as actual amiibo functionality, a lot of Nintendo doesn't really go that crazy with it anymore. It's just very basic. As far as just using amiibo you've already got, and it's only the sort of Smash amiibo that are coming out every, 6 months at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, if you want some goodies and you want a bit of a kickstart, there you go.
It's all right. We've got your whole collection behind us. We can do some testing.
We can do some testing.
Just hear going beep, beep, beep. Just drop all the items.
Yeah, well, 5 per day. Yeah.
Freeze the game. Which reminds me, actually, before we go on, I jumped on the PS5 and I crashed it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just gave him the controller and it just he crashed the system. I'm like,
I was in Astra's playroom. He's like, go hit this thing for me so that I get a trophy. I'm like, cool. And then I went over to the buzz remote, hit attack, and it crashed the PlayStation.
That's the problem with Buzz, It just crashes the whole system. So moving on into the last bit, Bryce. So this week, the 35th anniversary Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch was released. I pre-ordered it all the way back when, was it the Mario 35th Anniversary Direct when everything got announced there. Mm-hmm. Pre-ordered it through JB and is currently in the post getting delivered to me. I live in the middle of nowhere, so it's going to take a few weeks, you would imagine, It's like a bit of Death Stranding going on, They've got to walk through the hills and all that to get to me to deliver my Game & Watch. But
it's like with my Xbox, I'm kind of hoping that they send it in a timely fashion. I'll put it down for Express. So
okay.
They better get it to me in a timely fashion.
I don't think I'll put this for Express because I'm not too worried. So I don't have it yet. I haven't had much of a thing. And I haven't been watching anything on YouTube, just like unboxings. I want to unbox it myself and get it out and just spend, the next week just playing Mario Bros. And ignoring my next-gen consoles.
You sure?
Yeah, but it looks pretty cool. But there is actually a bit of an issue that's come with it, which is actually pretty funny. So this is from Vux.net, and the title is Nintendo issues apology for a small bug in the Game & Watch Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch. So the article reads, this very limited Game & Watch Super Mario Bros. Is out this week. And before its release, Nintendo has issued an apology for a small bug in the software. It won't affect us really in Australia unless you need to read European subtitles. By telling us that the bug, they've also spoiled one of the surprises in the system. So if you want to go blind, don't read on. Okay, so there you go. So I guess, if you don't want a spoiler for your Game & Watch, which you might not have gotten in the post yet. So I'm spoiling this for myself. Big spoilers.
Oh, you poor boy.
Big spoilers for my Game & Watch coming in the post. So this is the quote from Nintendo. We would like to inform you about an error with one of the digital clock's 25 little touches in the Game & Watch Super Mario Bros. System. Unfortunately, the Mario drawing song, localized in English only, can only be accessed by holding the A button. Displays an incorrect language set of lyrics in German, French, Italian, or Spanish is selected from the title screen. English, Dutch, and Japanese languages remain unaffected. However, it is possible to change the language of the lyrics shown at any time while the song plays. Please see the table below for further details, which I don't have here, so I can't look. And you can't see because this is an audio podcast. The system launch is not affected. And they say, we would like to apologize for any inconvenience caused. So,
good lads. Thanks for the apology.
Just really random. It's just really random. Like they must have noticed and went, oh no, we've mucked up a little tiny thing.
We can't do anything about it now. It's out.
Yeah.
It's not connectable to the internet.
Yeah, plug it into the USB-C into your computer and update the firmware.
You probably can.
Who knows?
They did it enough with the NES and SNES minis.
So what's going to be interesting with this is whether it's going to be hacked and you can just put like Game Boy Advance games and stuff on it.
Probably.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. You got no L and R buttons though, so good luck to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Just Game Boy games though, I guess. Yeah. So a little cool thing. I don't have any experience with it yet, but regardless.
No.
So Bryce, that's all the news. So I said before, let's look at some of the games that have come out in the last week and pick out one to highlight. So you've got an absolute banger.
Oh, I've got such a banger, mate. Right, just let me pick up my phone. It's going to be so hard to pick up my phone because this banger's going right off, right?
So I'll say mine while you bring up yours. But like this, I guess Bryce is a bit of a joke, but mine's actually, I guess, a serious one. So the game that I'm probably most excited about this week, I haven't picked it up yet, but it's probably a little bit expensive at $100 for me at the moment. But I'm a big fan of rhythm games. So Fuser has always sort of been on my radar as far as that goes. So I guess for anyone that doesn't know what it is, this is sort of the blurb that it's included on Nintendo eShop. So from the creators of Rock Band and Dance Central comes Fuser, a non-stop virtual music festival where you control the music. Combine elements of the world's most popular songs to create your own sound, or partner with friends on epic collaborations, then share your amazing mixes and headlining performances with the world. So basically you play as a DJ and you can sort of mix together different, like, I guess, mainstream media songs together. And it just sounds really cool. Some of the results you get sounds really nice. I don't really know what the gameplay hook is apart from just putting songs together and they sound good. I don't know like how the point system works or anything like that. But if I do get around to picking it up this year, I'll definitely let you know. I'll talk about it here on the show. Yeah. But I don't know if I'll get around to it this year. I've got a lot of games to play.
Oh, yeah, shit, yeah, we all do. Yeah, at the moment, it's absolutely shocking.
So, Bryce, you got a bagger.
So in light of that, I guess we're going to start the Christmas spirit off already, right?
It's only November, Bryce.
I know, but you know what? I'm pretty sure Elf Bowling 1 and 2 on the Nintendo 3DS also come at a weird time of the year. I can't believe they re-released those games on 3DS. Well, were they on DS? I can't remember because I remember that there was a cartridge, like an actual physical game of Elf Bowling 1 and 2.
I'll look it up.
They were Adobe Flash games.
Oh.
And they released a physical cart for them. Anyway, so something that popped up on the eShop this week to rise your festive spirit is Santa's Xmas Adventure. Right. So as far as description goes, here is what it reads. Christmas based for fun for the whole family. Santa had an accident. He lost his way and all the gifts.
Oh.
Help him get to his goal by sliding tiles to form a path. A classic puzzle game which is harder than it looks. 720 levels across 3 modes to master. Test your skills and join Santa's adventure. When you're stuck, use a hint. The game is accessible to players for all ages and abilities through the hint system. Are you up for the challenge? It's 104 megabytes and it's $12 on the eShop, right? $12, right? And it does look like, if I have to be entirely honest,
a banger.
It looks like a RuneScape sliding puzzle. If you ever get that reference in RuneScape, they had these things called treasure trails, which were maps you needed to follow. And sometimes you would get a puzzle box where you had to slide things around to make it fit a particular agenda. And in this case, you are making pathways for Santa to collect things and then get to a goal.
Awesome.
So if you are a
Santa fan.
Yeah, massive fan of Santa, I guess this is probably the game for you. But at the same time, 720 levels of the same 4x4 panel grid, I'm not sure I could handle it.
See, the thing is, leading up to Christmas, you've got a little girl who's undeniably excited for Christmas. Will you be picking it up for her to get into the Christmas spirit?
No.
Do you think she should enjoy that type of thing?
For $12, I'll pass, thanks. It is like, you know, that's the thing is there's a lot of these games coming out on Switch and they're so clearly designed just for mobile phones. Like if I'm obviously, again, audio podcasts is what it is. If you look at the picture descriptions and see the pictures and stuff like that, it is literally just like dead on.
Yeah, I'll link these in the show notes for the eShop page. You can go and check them out if you are that interested.
It is made for a phone. It is not made for anything else. It does not look like it's got any substance whatsoever, unless you like 720 levels of doing the same thing over and over again for $12. But, you know, there is like some awesome games that are always on sale on the eShop that will typically cost you less than that sometimes, you know. I can't, like, You got Deponia here, $6, usually 60. That's huge. Like that's big.
Yeah, well, I picked up what's it called?
Felix the Reaper.
Felix the Reaper.
$3.
Wow.
You know? $3.
I see Abzu's only $3 on there.
This just like there's a lot of specials on at the moment, guys, and like they should be your they should be your first look at the moment. There was like a few things out this week, like Hot Pursuit, I think, Hot Pursuit Remastered, and Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. But to be completely honest with you, Hot Pursuit will probably go in the same bin category as Paradise in that it's too expensive for a remaster. And Melody of Memory can go on the bin because Kingdom Hearts has lost my interest for now.
Just in the bin.
Sorry, Kingdom Hearts, you lost me.
Just for anyone that was interested as well, Elf Bowling 1 and 2 was on DS, not 3DS.
But as a physical cartridge.
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah.
Like, holy crap. Holy crap.
It's awesome.
Like, and let's take the file size of those. I think they were maybe about 2 megabytes each, and they were put on a physical cartridge.
I remember what I got the other week too. I got Ni no Kuni for $15.
Yes, that too. Yeah. There's a lot of sales like that on really awesome games like that are super cheap. And if you're using $12 on Santa's Xmas Adventure, I think you've got other things you need to, try and reorganize, like your priorities for one.
Well, they might have won the lottery. It was like, bugger, I'm getting that Santa game.
Don't remind me. Oh, Jesus. No, don't. Yeah. Nah. Sorry, guys. It's probably free on Android. I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what?
Then you can give us impressions next week. Whether it's worth the $12 or wait for a sale for free.
Let's see, shall we? All right.
What was the game called again? I've already forgotten what it was.
Santa's Xmas Adventure.
I'll see if it's on iOS as well.
Yes.
This is thrilling stuff. Everyone really wants to know about Santa's Adventure.
Santa's Xmas Adventure. Apparently it's on PS4. Why? Why? Holy crap. I actually think it might. Oh, it has a physical version on PS4. What? And it's $20 US.
20?
Yes.
Wow.
What the
It didn't come up on iOS, so show us the physical one. That's a collector's item and a half. Hopefully it's backwards compatible on PlayStation 5. So everyone can literally enjoy it on their new next-gen console.
This is the page from PlayAsia. It's on PlayAsia. Santa's Xmas Adventure.
Who's it? Who's it published by? What's their name? GS2 Games. Oh my God. GS2.
They made a physical version of what is essentially a mobile phone game. And like not a recent mobile phone game like Genshin Impact where it's like Breath of the Wild quality in the palm of your hands, actually using all the power of your mobile phone. It's like the fucking Bejeweled one of Santa Christmas games.
Yeah.
I don't get it. How did it ever have a physical release?
Don't know.
And it is. I'm so confused by this prospect. Why did I bring this up now? It's not, as far as we can tell, it's not on app stores. But it has the most mobile UI you've ever seen in your life. What?
What kind of can of worms have you opened here?
I don't know.
I don't like it. Let's move on.
Oh my God.
So Bryce, I think we need to let you go. We need to end the show. You need to go and pick up your kids and get to work and all that type of thing.
Yeah, that's right. It's 3:14 already.
Yeah. So we'll wrap up the show. Everybody, thank you for joining us for episode 168 of The House of Mario. If you enjoy the show, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and you can follow me at iDruby. You can follow the show at the House of Mario. Yeah, a bit of an aneurysm there. And you can follow Bryce at IVRevan. You can join our Discord community and talk to us and our listeners there. It'd be absolutely fantastic. Share some screenshots or of your games, swap some IDs, play some online games, do all that type of fun stuff. Bryce, you had a bit of a shout out you wanted to make to one of the communities you're involved with.
Yes, I do.
On the show. Since we're so big and this is a massive platform,
I've got a bit of a call to action to anybody that might be putting their hands out there and doing the tests around and doing some things, whatever. But we have, I've mentioned this on the show before. It would have been a long time ago at this point. I've always talked about Final Fantasy XIV. A friend of mine has joined the admin team of the Facebook group, which is their main community for the Australian side, and has sort of asked to help sort of promote it and maybe try and bring people to the game and the community as a result, because we're always actively fighting for, an Australian server, and, the developers have been really good and kept in contact with us and all that stuff, which is great. But yeah. So I suppose if you're picking up your shiny new PlayStation, or you need something on your PlayStation 4, or you have a computer, a computer that you'd like to try something new on, go ahead and give Final Fantasy XIV a crack. It is free to play all the way up until level 60. That is the base game plus the expansion. You do not have to pay a single dollar for that, not even subscription fee. So if I had to equate that to amount of content that you get for absolutely free, I would have to say it'd be 1,000+ hours. Not mandatory content, but a lot of side content and stuff like that as well. If you have been looking for a communal type of game, that's probably a great place to go. So with attached to that as well, we have that Facebook community, which is, goddamn.
I'll put it in the show notes. It's all good.
You'll put it in the show notes, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll get the link, right? It's a big long name. It's like Final Fantasy XIV Australian community on Facebook or something or other. I don't use Facebook anymore, so I'll have to look it up. But, we've built a community of over 5,000+ members on Facebook alone. Then there's the Discord that's always full as hell. And it's a huge communal game, guys. Like a lot of the American friends I stay in touch with, a lot of the people from here that have gone away play it, So I've met plenty of lifelong friends playing it, and I play with friends that I haven't, seen in a very long time, and I meet new people all the time. It's a great experience. And since the free trial's been uncapped now to level 60, you can play, I'd like to say, 3 expansions deep now. So that means you can play half of the game for free without spending a cent. Ever.
Yeah, so if you're a big nerd like Bryce,
that's exactly right.
Go and check out the Australian community or your local community and get in there.
You can play it on your PlayStation 5 at 60 frames per second 4K.
Wow.
Yeah, which is good for an MMO, by the way, because there's so much shit on screen at all times if you get into a congested area. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, so get in there if that interests you.
Absolutely.
So in this week's Nintendo Jukebox is Bowser Freestyle by the Kevin Bennett. We've had the Kevin Bennett put on Nintendo Jukebox before. Absolutely love his style and what he does with video game music. So go and check him out on Spotify, Apple Music, and whatever your platform of choice is for music.
Music.
Yeah. So guys, until next week, the doors to the House of Mario are closed. Catch you later.
Bye.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
All right, yeah, it's that time, and we're about to do it. I'm sorry, yeah. Take a look, you and me are not the same. I'm a specimen and I'm about to exit out the cage. I'll be targeting these rappers that be getting all the praise, and they vanish because the Bennett left them without a trace. Feel the energy, wanna step in the room. Everyone wanna be me because I'm reputable. The reason I'm rapping slow is because my belly is full. In seconds of roll, give me the horns, mess with the bull. It's a really big, stupid mistake you do to get blazed. I think you should assume to be flamed. I'm proving insane with how I'm so amused by the pain, but they be getting it from the king. Tell me who would complain. My living room is such a lucrative place. I'm making money in my sleep, taking snooze by the cage. All the damage that I do got you spooked and afraid. They wonder why I'm acting crazy while I'm losing my brain. It's gone, yeah. They don't even wanna talk about it. No, they don't. Your favorite rapper think I'm raw sounding. Yeah, he do. Used to be with George, now it's Franklin. Every day I'm counting, doing numbers like an accountant. Yeah, I'm rich. They used to tell me I should think logic. I don't regret I never did college. Thought I had to be the average, but I'm glad I hadn't. Cause I had to wrap up like a cobra, cause I spit toxic. It's a mosh pit. Got these motherfuckers jumping like they into CrossFit. This some final boss shit. Put a couple rappers in the hospice. Go on with my day and put my feet up in the office. Stack a couple bodies, then I store them in my closet. Sorry, better hope you wasn't claustrophobic. Cause other rappers you'll be nose to nose with. Racking up the bodies like my middle name was COVID. Yeah, I'm inappropriate, do a doggy no Doberman. Took a sip out of 40 and Kevin never been sober since I've been killing the beast. To the point to speak with an overlist. I'm an ultimate troll, don't ever think you could cross the bridge. Freak of awesomeness, I'm on the wanted list. Burn the house down like I was an arsonist. I'm like Bowser, better Bowser to the sovereign, or else I'm gonna be severing your oxygen. Goodbye.